Look, let's be real for a second. Most things people chase in life, you can just buy them. Stocks, real estate, even entire businesses, you could own them quickly if you have the cash and the access. But the real advantages, the ones that quietly separate the people at the very top from everyone else, you literally cannot buy those. They have to be built slowly, and honestly, that's exactly why they're so rare. Let's dive right into this explainer and break down the 10 powerful assets that give you an unfair edge in life.
You can easily buy surface-level markers of success. Anyone with enough capital can acquire those transactional items on the left. But the items on the right, reputation, taste, systems, those are developmental. You can't just hand someone a blank check and suddenly possess impeccable taste or an ironclad reputation, right? Because they take time and serious consistency to cultivate, they become your ultimate moat.
Nassim Nicholas Taleb has this brilliant concept that explains this perfectly, the Lindy effect. It proves that the true value of these 10 unbuyable assets is that they actually get stronger, more resilient, and way more valuable as time passes. When you build an intangible asset like deep trust or a massive network, it doesn't degrade like a physical product. It ages in reverse. It compounds. So let's look at exactly how we build these compounding assets, starting with our identity.
All right, Act 1, the social ledger.
Reputation isn't just how you look, it's how people remember you. Before meeting you, people might have an image in their head, but that can be faked quickly. That's just surface level. But after interacting with you, that's where reputation forms, and it sticks. When your name comes up in a room, there's already a feeling attached to it. Trust, reliability, competence, or maybe the exact opposite. The key difference is that while an image is instant, a true reputation has to be earned. And once built, it starts working for you in rooms you're not even in.
Think about it. People are busy. They don't have the time to deeply research every single person they do business with. So they rely on your reputation as a proxy for your quality. If you've put in the work to build this unbuyable asset, you don't have to constantly convince people to trust you. The trust is already baked right into your name. It's a massive shortcut.
So, this brings up a really interesting question. If we're actively curating our reputation, are we just putting on a performance? How do you actually balance playing the game with being genuinely authentic? Because to truly stand out, whatever you do has to be grounded in something real.
Real authenticity isn't just about refusing to filter yourself, and it's certainly not the fake kind you see all over social media. It's built over time. It's your experiences, your high standards, your specific way of thinking, all blending together and being communicated in a way that actually resonates with the people listening. You can't just shout into the void and call it a brand.
And when those assets come together, being unmistakably yourself becomes a massive advantage. Because let's face it, in a world full of copies and AI-generated content, people can replicate your skills, they can steal your business model, but they cannot replicate you.
Moving right along to Act 2, the relational moat.
Anyone can buy followers or inflate their numbers, right? But you cannot fake actual attention. A real audience, your bonding capital, is made up of people who actually care about what you say. And your network and distribution, your bridging capital, means you can reach them consistently. A lot of incredible ideas fail not because they're bad, but simply because no one sees them. Having a true audience and the distribution to reach them is leverage. You launch, you share, and people actually respond. You never have to start from zero.
And networking gets such a bad rap, doesn't it? People think of forced conversations. But a real network is just having people who trust you enough to open doors. Which leads to this, proximity. Timing matters immensely, and proximity gives you an almost unfair advantage in timing. Being close to the source of information, trends, and decision makers means you see things early instead of reacting late like everyone else. Sometimes, one genuine connection can literally save you years of struggle.
Okay, let's get into Act 3, the structural leverage.
Working harder isn't always the answer anymore. Smart people? They're focusing on building systems. A system is anything that allows work to continue without constant manual effort from you. Instead of doing everything yourself, you create automated workflows that keep running even when you step away. That is exactly how you scale.
And the numbers on this are just wild. Relying on manual effort means you're prone to fatigue. But look at this automated workflow. It saw a 151 times reduction in execution time, taking tasks from over 3 minutes down to barely a single second with 0 errors. The real value today isn't just doing the work, it's building something that keeps doing the work for you.
Once those systems are running, you start collecting data. At first, data seems so small, right? A click here, a timestamp there. But when you collect enough of it, patterns start to emerge.
And those patterns reveal human behavior. What people love, what they totally ignore, what makes them take action. Once you understand that behavior at scale, you stop guessing and you start predicting. And that is incredibly valuable.
In today's world, the most valuable things are often completely invisible. It's not just the final product, it's the process, the proprietary tech, the unique ideas behind it. That's your intellectual property. And as Cedric Chin points out, going after these rare and valuable skills creates control. When your IP is unique, others either have to pay you for access or they're going to struggle immensely trying to compete with you.
To actually cultivate that kind of IP, you've got to live in a permanent beta mindset, constantly iterating, never settling. And in a world where everyone can create, creation alone isn't special anymore. What matters now is your taste. Taste helps you filter out the noise. It helps you avoid mediocre ideas and focus purely on what stands out. It's a subtle thing, but over time it compounds into vastly superior decisions and results.
Which brings us to the climax, compounding for superlinear returns.
Paul Graham talks about this, and it's a real game changer. Returns on your performance are superlinear. We are so trained to think linearly, right? You put in 1 hour of work, you get 1 hour of reward. But that's not how these unbuyable assets function, because they compound. A small, consistent 10% improvement in your systems or your network doesn't just give you a 10% boost in success. It might trigger a massive 1,000% exponential reward.
You achieve this exponential growth by building compounding career loops. This is the secret sauce. Your reputation feeds your true audience, your network feeds your distribution, and your systems protect your IP. You master a skill, use your network to distribute that value, and then channel the attention you capture right back into building better systems. It is a continuous, unstoppable loop.
When you stop chasing the transactional things that anyone can just go out and purchase, and you start slowly forging these 10 intangible assets, you completely separate yourself from the pack. You aren't even playing the same game as everyone else anymore. Because once you have these assets working for you behind the scenes, you don't just compete, you stand out.
I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. Take a hard look at where you put your daily effort. The real game is building what cannot be bought. So ask yourself, are you spending your time buying the present, or are you doing the quiet, unglamorous work to build the future? Think about that as you plan your next move. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.